This is Twit.
Windows 8.1 arrived today. Maybe that's what the site was about. If you have Windows 8 and you'd like the start button back, or you just want to have the latest version, head to Windows Store in your Windows tiled interface. The update is free for Windows 8 users. Windows 7 folks will need to buy the Windows 8 upgrade for $199 or $199. Actually, I got the prices wrong for the Pro. Boxed version with Windows 8.1 will hit the store shelves tomorrow, as well as new PCs with 8.1 pre-installed.
All Things D reports that Twitter plans to significantly update its direct messaging product, but beyond just allowing users to send and receive DMs from others without needing to mutually follow each other. 3 people familiar with the matter say that the company may also launch a standalone direct messaging app that's separate from the Twitter app. This is a turnaround from back in December of 2011, when the company redesigned its web and mobile apps and took the DM feature off center stage.
Acer just introduced the Iconia W4. It's an 8-inch Windows 8.1 tablet with a resolution of 1280 by 800, along with an Intel Bay Trail Atom processor. For you tablet photographers, the W4 has a 5-megapixel rear camera and a 2-megapixel front-facing camera. There's 2 models. A 32-gigabyte model will run you $330. The 64-gigabyte model will cost $380.
Verizon Wireless, now feeling more in charge of itself after agreeing to buy out Vodafone's stake, reported earnings that pretty much met expectations. Verizon added 1.1 million subscribers for a total of 101.2 million, 95.2 million of which are postpaid. Nearly half of new phone activations were iPhones during the quarter. Revenue jumped 4.4% over last year to $30.3 billion. LTE coverage is now 99% of the 3G coverage.
Teens between 13 and 17 years old can now post public status updates and photos on Facebook, a former privacy restriction that kept kids in that age group from sharing information with people beyond friends and friends of friends has been lifted. Facebook says the move is in line with competitors by giving teens the freedom to decide whether they want to keep updates to friends or out to the world. The company said in a blog post, teens want to be heard.
They're so with it. Yeah. Android Police got its hands on the latest Google Glass firmware and tore it apart to find the delicious insides. Okay, Glass, that was a little creepy. Anyway, Android Police found a bunch of new voice commands in the Glass Voice APK that suggest you'll be able to ask Glass to do things like check you into a location, call you a car, and more. There also appears to be a lot more music controls with data found in the musiccard.xml file.
You're a car. Ubuntu also has its day in the sun today. The regular October OS update 13.10, codenamed Saucy Salamander, arrived through, it's only got minor updates though. The Unity interface's Dash View got an overhaul, but the Xmirror, transitional step from the X server to the mirror display interface, has been deferred until the April update. 13.10 also features the first true release of Ubuntu Touch for mobile devices. The release is compatible with the Galaxy Nexus and Nexus 4 handsets, though Canonical says this release is really aimed at manufacturers to try to get them to create devices that will run Ubuntu Touch.
Michael Bromwich, a former federal prosecutor in New York, who was also part of the government's trial team against Oliver North back in the day, the former Marine Corps lieutenant colonel who was a central figure in the Iran-Contra affair, if you needed a little refresher, and who recently served as the top U.S. offshore drilling watchdog, has been appointed to monitor Apple's antitrust compliance following a court ruling that it had conspired to fix ebook prices. He'll monitor Apple for 2 years under the order issued by U.S. District Attorney Denise Cote in Manhattan, District Judge.
Yesterday, EFF filed a petition with the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office challenging Personal Audio LLC's patent called System for Disseminating Media Content Representing Episodes in a Serialized Sequence. The petition cites Carl Malamud's Geek of the Week internet radio show from 1993, as well as other online broadcasts by CNN and the CBC as examples of episodic content that predated Personal Audio's priority date of 1996. The EFF crowdfunded $76,160 in support of this filing.
Samsung Galaxy S4 owners rejoice, for today is the day the S4 is receiving the Android 4.3 Jelly Bean update. Well, the update's actually hitting the international GT i9505 model for now. The U.S. update's going to happen in a few weeks, as well as other markets. Samsung also bundled in some of its own fantastic software, like Samsung Wallet and support for the Galaxy Gear smartwatch.